This afternoon, let's explore emptiness and no self-meditations in 5 minutes. And then let's meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Which is brought to you by the good-hearted folks who support this channel on Patreon. This afternoon, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as young Luke Skywalker upon Dagobah under the guidance of Yoda, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Good news. If at any point during this afternoon's live stream you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or simply how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. There are two ways of looking at things. We can look at things from the point of view of being rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, in which case we will look at things very, very literally. And in which case, anything that is a figure of speech, anything that is a simile, anything that is a metaphor, could be lost on us. Whereas, if we view world through a lens that helps us to be flexible, loving, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, then it can be much, much easier for us to discern the literal from the figurative and all points in between. As we breathe in, well, let's rephrase this. Every time we relax into our exhalation, all that we perceived during our previous inhalation can now feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. It could feel as if it was as non-graspable as the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although it could be tantalizing to the eye, is most certainly intangible to the hand. Similarly, whatever we notice during our inhalation, once we relax into our exhalation, it could simply feel like it was not me. So for instance, during our inhalation, someone might insult my reputation, and I could feel like my sense of self was in jeopardy. But as we relax into the exhalation, that reputation could feel like an imaginary thing, like a child that died in a dream, but that in reality never existed. So there is no metaphysics in play here. It's simply a question of playing with, interpreting the experiences of our autonomic nervous system through a poetic lens. That's it. People who take it literally and say there is no self or everything's empty and then squander decades trying to comprehend or write treatise on the subject do themselves a gross disfavor. Now, if you're clever, you could say, well, gee, Lama Jigme, how do you know that? And why should I trust you? When we read the Satipatthana Sutta, it concludes with a promise that the Buddha's path can be mastered in 7 years, or 7 quarters, or 7 months, or 7 fortnights, or 7 weeks, or even 7 days. Now, it's impossible to get a PhD in 7 days. Therefore, the route, the path of the pseudo-intellectual scholar is rendered absurd by the Buddha's own words. The only way emptiness, the only way no self can be experienced is if it is a figure of speech to describe the contrast of experiences between the inhalation and the exhalation, between perception and processing. Together, let's turn our attention now to chanting. The Friday's PM portion of Gaurab Dorje's first Dzogchen text, whose title could be Spaciousness of Vajrasattva, or if you prefer Tibetan, Dorje Sempa Namka Che. Now, this is an editing opportunity. Let me quick like a bunny, I'm going to hopefully make it easier for us to chant. Okay. One may crop a palm tree or burn a seed to prevent them from proliferating. And some teachers even advocate such a destructive approach for students who wish to overcome their emotional problems. A tale is told of a Manipal Lama who was convinced the antidote to his student's pride was to disfigure her face. Moreover, there are hundreds and even thousands of methods for practice, and they all blossom in their own way. But since pristine awareness is beyond characteristics, it is not revealed by practices such as these. Blessed, oopsie, there's something going on with the display. Let me see if I can remedy that toot sweet. Blessed are the yogis who abide continuously in the true condition, not discriminating between self and other. They enjoy the magical illusion while abiding in the great perfection. All phenomena are perfect and complete with nothing missing or excluded. The true condition is equally beyond change, spacious without limit. Spaciousness without limit. Beyond dependent, arising beyond causes and conditions. Incomparable wisdom alone knows the blissful continuum of self-perfection. The domain of the ultimately real wish does not arise from extraneous causes and conditions. This set of mindfulness and meditation is known by many names, including Zen, Chan, Dhyana, Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, Ati Yoga, Dzogchen, and Treksho. Despite the grandiosity of the names, the technique is easy. What is the key to mindfulness? None other than silently and mentally reciting the not diminutive. What's it called? Demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. For each inhalation is wired to grant us access to our sympathetic nervous system, which has not evolved for active concentration, but instead for perception. Vulnerable, passive, visceral, and random. We are wired. We're wired to notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. We're wired to notice emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. What is the key to meditation? To silently and mentally recite yes during each exhalation. Doing so grants us effortless access to our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved for both physical relaxation as well as mental release, allowing us to process whatever comes up, be it external, internal, physical, mental, pleasurable, painful, interesting, boring, glorious, or grotesque. Now let's meditate. Welcome to this afternoon's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddha's meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. In the meantime, as you inhale, silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as you perceive. And during each exhalation, silently and mentally recite the word yes as you automatically physically relax and mentally release. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window or give this live stream a thumbs up, share it with a friend, or even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 3.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tonight's evening meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the